Hello, thank you for joining me here at Leaping Lotus Tarot. My name is Addison. If you're new here, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here. I am going to do a Gemini reading today. I'm just getting my incense lit here. We're going to kind of set the vibe, set the tone for the reading. Please take a deep breath, set your intention. Clear the space a little bit here. All right. I have a new incense holder and I'm pretty excited to use it. Hopefully it works. It's kind of fun. It's like supposed to like contain the smoke a little bit here. Anyway, okay, so I have the Wee Moon Tarot deck today. And I also have this crystal. I'm so bummed. I actually have a new app where I like went through all my crystals and figured out what this one was called. And I totally blanked it. But I'll leave it in the description box. How about I do that? Okay. All right, let's just get started. This is Gemini. I'm going to get like some starting messages out and then we'll see if I want to like do a little spread for like past, future, or like what you don't expect or something like that. I've been kind of feeling called to do it like that sort of style. So we'll just see what we get started with and we'll kind of figure it out. Any other thing else we want to get started with here for Gemini? Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so far we have 5 of water. So 5 of cups kind of sideways a little bit. It says deep grief on it. That's what we're starting with, which is kind of interesting. But I usually get this card like every time I do this Wee Moon deck. I do love it though because she's in a state of surrender. She's in a you know, a prayer position essentially. She's got these honeycombs around her and this lotus flower, the stages of the moon. So even though there's an aspect of deep grief here, it's not, it's a healing from it. It's a surrendering to it. There's an okayness to it. 8 of Air, 8 of Swords, Goddess Consciousness rising. So somebody's going through something kind of heavy right now is what it's seeming like. And they're really, you know, what I'm kind of getting with this energy though is that this person's been through heavy stuff before. This is not like it's the first time. This is not like it's, you know, the first aspect of spiritual awakening for this person. This person's been through their primary spiritual awakening, I think. And this is sort of just like a, this is like a reminder. This is like somebody having to be like, okay, they're like gearing up. They're like, I've done this before. I know what I'm battling here. Let's see what this other card is. 9 of Earth, 9 of Pentacles reversed. This is interesting imagery. It's like this feminine energy holding this little bunny rabbit. So I think somebody's feeling very alone at this time. They're feeling like they're, I don't want to say abandoned, but it's almost like they've got their pet with them, and that's actually a big comfort to them right now. It's keeping them company. It's giving them that sort of comfort as they're alone or having to deal with this sort of personal deep grief. I don't know if you lost somebody or if you just got out of a relationship. Let's get a little clarity. What is this regarding? What is this regarding? Oh, I'm shaking my camera. Let me back up here. Okay. I just sit so close to my desk because I love to throw my cards all over the floor, so I tend to shake the table sometimes when I get a little close. So what is this regarding? What is this grief regarding here? Okay. 10 of Earth, Mother Earth. Sort of sideways though. This could be around what you thought was going to be your 10 of Pentacles, what you thought was going to be your full abundance, could perhaps be your relationship, but there's no cups energy. Like it would have been a 10 of Cups, I feel like, if it was for sure a relationship. So I'm getting that this could be like your perceived thought of like what you thought a particular job was going to be, or what, something's very interesting about Mother Earth too. Because with that 8 of air, it also says goddess consciousness rising. And then the 9 of earth, the 9 of pentacles reverse says all our relations. I think there's an aspect of you that's a little bit sad about the state of the world, even at this moment. You may listen to the news a lot, or you may be a little discouraged by like what you're hearing as far as like how people are treating the earth right now, and I could just totally be getting that because this is a sort of theme of this deck that tends to come out a lot. But I have a bunch of different decks, and I pull this deck when I feel called to use it. So even though there's repetitive themes that I get with this reading or with this tarot deck, what's meant to come out is meant to come out, okay? So I'm not gonna, doubt my intuition with what I'm getting here with it, because if there's an aspect of you that might feel a little sad about how things are right now, then that's the state of it. So let's get what you don't see. What you don't see. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pull the 3 bottom cards here. What you don't see. 7 of Cups. You don't see the potential. You don't see the full possibilities. You're worried because of the perspective that you have. But just keep in mind that you only have a limited perspective. Now, you may be a very smart, perceptive person who can see a lot of aspects of things, but just keep in mind that even with that ability, or even with that being the case, you still are only one person. You still only have your lens of perspective and your reality and from the experiences that you've lived. So even if you try to zoom out, there's still a narrow perception from this human body that you can't fully see the full picture, okay? So what you don't see is all the other possibilities and outcomes of this situation. So you're feeling a little heavy, you're feeling a little sad about it, you're forcing yourself almost into like a surrender here, because it's not what you wanted, it's not what you expected, but you know that you have to, because you know that being in a state of, so even with a state of grief, you're really trying to be balanced with this sadness. You're not letting the grief just completely overwhelm you. You're trying to harness it into either prayer or exercise. You're trying to be healthy about it. You're trying to move through the emotions in a healthy way, which is really beautiful. Like I said, somebody who's already been through an awakening would be able to do that. So Wheel of Life, natural balance reversed. This is part of what you don't see. So what I'm just getting from that is it's a re-emphasis on you. There's an equilibrium and there's a balance to everything. So even if it feels overly negative or it feels like everything's going wrong, something has to counterbalance that, right? And so that basically just means that if it feels wrong now, it can only go up. It has to be met with the opposite energy. So that's supposed to be encouragement here. That's supposed to be something that you can look forward to, is that, okay, if it feels bad now, then that means it's going to be good. Things have to crumble, tower moments have to happen, things have to shake up in order for new foundations to be laid for something. This one's a little interesting for me because this is 6 of Fire reversed, Passion reversed. But 6 of Wands is like a triumphant card, but there's just a lot of like feminine fiery energy in this one. And so I also can kind of tend to take the 6 of Wands as like ego. And what this is kind of saying is like, you're very passionate about whatever this is that you feel isn't working. So it could be the health of the planet, it could be a relationship, it could be work, whatever this is you feel very passionately about, which is why there's a state of deep grief about it, because you care a lot. I mean, you care a lot. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be in any sort of sadness about it or stuck energy with that 8 of Swords. So this is kind of almost a call to, if there is some sort of ego about it, it's basically like you have to release your judgment and basically see that your perception isn't the full picture. That's essentially what it's saying. Your perception is not the full picture. Release your ego around it a little bit and realize that, yes, it's good to be passionate about it. Yes, it's good to have an excitement and a care for your planet or for your relationships or for whatever this situation is. I feel like it can pertain very differently to certain people. But there's a call to, you can be passionate, but you have to be I'm hearing rational, because sometimes with so much strong emotion, you can get sort of like rooted or stuck in a belief that may not entirely serve you, because there is causing grief here, and you are trying to handle it because you know that there is an imbalance and feeling that kind of energy. Now, there's nothing wrong with grief. It's not like you need to get out of grief. You may kind of feel like you need to, but you don't. It's okay to feel it. That's a really hard thing, right? Because when you feel negative emotion, this is something I battle with too, is you feel negative emotion, you're like, oh, I noticed this, I'm aware of this, let me redirect my energy, let me shift out of it, let me try to, which is great because you want to be in a higher frequency, and you know that helps with manifestation, things like that. But there is an aspect of the human condition where you are supposed to embrace and embody the full spectrum of emotions, and that's okay. That's why we're here. We're a soul, and this is a unique experience to be in a body, and so there is a call to accept what the body goes through as well. Give me 3 messages on like the future, like where, if you shift your perspective and you release a little bit of judgment here, I'm getting, if you release some judgment around this outcome or having expectations of something, what will be the result of that? Let me get 2 more. I am awakening. Ace of Wands, but it's reversed. Oh, goodness. We have 9 of Cups. I probably shouldn't show this imagery because it's very, it's like the female organ. 9 of Cups, Beloved. And then we also have Fire Matriarch, Ancestral Power, but it's reversed. Lots of fire coming through this reading. What will happen? So 9 of Cups, let's just start there, because 9 of Cups is beautiful. That's extremely grateful, abundant, present energy, feeling okay with everything. It says beloved. It's like this, it's like the universe and your spirit guides and your higher self is going to be so proud of you to embrace that energy. But there's an aspect of you, and I think it kind of goes along with this Passion card and this I am awakening, all this fire stuff, Fire Matriarch, Ancestral Power. This is kind of going to be a heavy one. I don't know if you're going to be ready to hear this. Okay. Ooh, I'm getting chills. Oh, this is a hard one. Sometimes I get these heavy messages that I really don't want to deliver, but yeah, I have to do it. How do I say this? What you've come to believe about your reality and how you perceive, okay, this, whether it be, and I'm not going to get political here because I don't care what side you fall on, this is going to pertain to either side, okay? So whether it be like on gun laws or abortion or race, all those types of really tough issues, whatever you view them to be, you have a very strong stance on. You have a strong opinion and you feel your opinion is right. And, oh, I'm getting chills. This really needs to be heard by somebody. You feel your opinion is right. You 100% believe that. I feel like whatever the things you're sure on, you are like so sure on, it's crazy. And you will fight for it. You have a fiery passion that you will fight to the end with, to tell people, no, you're wrong. This is this. Like, I know this. So even though you're an air sign, this is a Gemini reading, or maybe you're listening for a Gemini, I don't know, but there is fire here. There is a fiery passion that you feel, I know the truth. I am right. My people are right. This is the case. And you feel, or would feel, that by releasing those beliefs or stepping back in any way would be letting your ancestors down, would be being a disservice to your fiery, passionate energy about it, would somehow take away from your truth. And that's not the case. It actually would bring you into a higher balance by coming at it from a more zoomed out perspective, realizing that maybe you don't know the full picture. Maybe you for sure don't have all the answers. Maybe there are perspectives you haven't even heard yet that might really change your opinion. Maybe this is a call for acceptance. So even though you believe that the other side or the opposite view of what you believe is completely wrong, there is an aspect of this that your spirit guide, your higher self, is calling you to surrender to and accept and realize that there's some sort of because I talked about equilibrium from the beginning. There's an equilibrium, there's a counterbalance. If we didn't have the people who had the opposite view of us, where would the equilibrium be? If we only had this one type of view, we wouldn't have the balance. The balance is really important here. And with this 9 of water that I'm getting in the beloved card, because I asked you what's going to happen if you take on a more open perspective, a more flexible, I just looked at the time, 1555, 555. 555 is a big number of change. This is not me telling you to change your opinion. This is not me telling you to change your ways. This is not me telling you that you're wrong. This is me telling you that being so rooted and stuck in one mindset, and even though you like feel it to your core and you have this strong belief and it's so visceral, one way isn't the only way. There are billions of us. There are millions. If we all were one way and one way was right, then how could we all be? How could this all exist? So there are other ways that are right. There are other ways that are true. Everyone has their own truth in different way, and there has to be a balance. There has to be an equilibrium. Now, we do want there to kind of be a tendency towards a higher vibration in the sense that love is important, right? We're all here to learn love. And so even though certain acts are in more of a state of love, to help bring those people who don't come from a state of love into balance, you have to be that state of love. And by being in judgment of them or viewing them as wrong, it's a lower frequency, it's a lower vibration, it's a feeling of like hate or disgust or pity or like all of those things. So like even if you view yourself as a higher and you try to keep yourself at a higher level and you try to be positive, those are all great things. But if you're having judgment or viewing people as less than you because of their beliefs or their limited mindedness, those things may be true about them, but it's limiting you. It's your own beliefs and feeling that energy. And I feel like pity is a big strong one here. Like, oh, like you may not be, you know, hating them, like you may not have like a deep disgust, but your passion is so fiery here. What you do feel is right is so strong that there is a level of like isolation from the other side. And the isolation is not serving you. The isolation does not bring you into love, harmony, peace, balance, acceptance, which is what your higher self, the guides, God, your spirits, the universe, however you want to look at it, the higher power, the creator, is in a state of love and unconditional love. And so this is a call for you to unconditionally love the other. And whatever the other means to you is going to be different for everybody. But it's like a call for open-mindedness here. A call for open-mindedness. This was a really cool reading. Wow. I got chills through like that whole I hope that you received that well, because like I said, I'm not here to change your views. I'm not here to say that you're wrong and that you need to be open to other views. In a sense you do, but it's really more about accepting. I've got other cards from another deck in here. Yeah, it's about acceptance here. It's about unconditional love, and it's about realizing that you can't know the full picture. You're just a human in one body with one experience, and the picture is so much bigger than you can even wrap your mind around in, because you're in a physical body. Now, if you were in a spirit form, maybe you could see the full picture and you would have an understanding, but in that case, you'd be in a fully accepting love space, and it wouldn't matter what the other person did, what the other person said, what the other person believes, what the other side believes. None of that would matter. You'd be in a state of love. So this is strictly a limitation of the physical body that you're going through with here, which at the very beginning of this card makes a lot of sense because of that deep grief. This is a processing of this heavy emotion through the body. Let's get a final oracle message for this reading. Please wrap it up here, spirit guides. What do we need to end on? Wow. I haven't gotten that card before. This is beautiful. Okay. There are no wrong turns. That's very deeply true of like everything I just said. There isn't a wrong side. There isn't a wrong way to do things. Now, there is in the sense that, you know, don't kill people, don't steal. Like, all those things are true. There are lower vibrational energies that aren't ideal for the growth and spiritual evolvement of the planet. But at the same time, on the other side, there's only unconditional love and acceptance. So as hard as that is to believe, it's all about soul development here. It's all about love and finding truth and accepting others and kindness. And so really there are no wrong turns. Everything has its balance. Everything has its equilibrium. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you're wasting and draining your energy on feeling so strongly about something and battling and, you know, fighting a side against another side, that's coming from a lack of compassion and love for the other. And that's draining. That's tiring to do to yourself. Your greatest joy pollinates the world. So if you have something that you're wanting to set into motion, if you're having a goal, a vision, a way to make the planet better, you do that through what you seed, through your intentions, through your love, through your gifts, through your own peace. Okay, this is less about the other and more about what can you do for yourself to elevate yourself and make things right within you. Because the more you can get things right within you and be less concerned about what others are doing, the more you're going to be able to come into harmony and balance, and that's going to elevate those around you. You're going to touch lives in a different kind of impactful way, and you're going to see the change you want to see by starting with the self. And the final thing here that I'm going to say, this was the first oracle that fell out, but I left it for the end because I think that this could be a lot more impactful if you really let it sit with you. How can this be a wonderful win? How can this be wonderful? How can I make this a win? And that's all about perspective. That's all about shifting a mindset. That's all about looking at things through a completely different lens than you've ever looked at things before. It's optimism, it's hope, it's love, it's acceptance. And it's realizing that things are so much more than you can even wrap your mind around. And so it's trying to view things of not how they should be, why they're not a certain way, how they could be. Like, it's about like, how can I make now in my surroundings so beautiful and so perfect that it cannot help but spread into those around me and make things just more beautiful, more in a state of love and acceptance. And so this is a call to presence. This is a call to self-acceptance even, and being open to the different perspectives and mindsets of the world so that it can help bring an inner peace to you, and so that you can have a passion, but the passion isn't for proving somebody wrong or you know, making sure that your way is right, but it's for a passion for love, a passion for acceptance, a passion for kindness, a passion for, yeah, just an overall open-mindedness to what you don't know, to what you can't possibly know. And it's not your fault. Like, everyone has their own gifts and skill sets and things that they're meant to know, and the others are meant to have those things. Like I said, equilibrium, it's that balance. It's so important. It's the nature of reality, and it's just how it has to be. And so the more you fight against the nature of reality, you're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself. Okay, I loved that one. That one was super cool. Hopefully you heard what I was saying with that one. If you liked it, please drop it in the comments, hit a like, hit a subscribe, and we will see you next time.